Good evening, Cebu. Good evening, Philippines. It's open mic night tonight, and tonight I have a dear friend, newly elected senator again, Senator Migz, Juan Miguel Migz Zubiri. Migz?
Mike, my tokayo.
Yes.
It's nice to be back. Mayang gabi.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Dagan salamat. I made it with the votes of the Bisdak Nation, Bisayang Dako na nation, and it's a lot.
And I was telling you, you made it with very little cost, no? Parang it seems like it.
It was an easier campaign now.
Way easier.
A much easier campaign. I guess, it all also probably added up that after the 2013 election loss when I ran, there was a lot of controversies hounding the Senate, PDAF misuse, the DAP, absenteeism in House and in Congress.
So maybe people had buyer's remorse.
Yeah, well, they probably thought that Migz has a perfect attendance and I have no issue in corruption. Maybe they thought that apparently he was a good guy. So on the next run, it was a bit easier. Me and Tito Dick Gordon, I'm happy Senator Gordon.
Yes, he was here also before.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. We go as a team. Batman and Robin.
I'm very happy that the both of you made it.
Yeah, so at least the performers, di naman sa pagyayabang, dili sa paghinambog, but katong last Congress na nag-uban mi ni Senator Gordon, we really performed their duties to the best of our abilities.
And both of you lost in 2013.
Yes, that was the sad part. Not only me, not only us both, but even other good guys like Senator Migz, people who had a good reputation and
good track record.
Good track record. So it was frustrating. 2013 was a very frustrating election. So much so that if you talked to me last year, and I think I did see you last year, I told you wala na ko'y plano.
Yes.
Mubalik sa politika.
I remember that.
I had no plans.
I remember. It was, well, even before the filing, Ernest and I would talk, Ernest Herrera.
Yes.
Parang I hope Migz runs, and he was not even sure. He could not even give a definite answer if he were gonna run or not. Of course, it's a very costly exercise, no? And especially coming from 2013, you would think that someone like you would spend more coming from a defeat.
Actually, to be honest, Michael, with when I filed in October, I had no chief of staff. I only had like maybe 2 or 3 people committed to my team.
Yeah.
I had no staff. I had no one to hang on to except because all the older guys that were with me in 2013, na naman sila dito sa uban mga senators because we fanned them out para naman sila trabaho.
Yes, that's true.
So I had no more people to really campaign with me. So when I filed, to be honest, tulong lang kataong naa sa opisina. I had no funding.
And I shared that, the picture.
Yeah.
When you were at the Comelec.
It was just me, my wife, and one staff that went with me. Katong abogado na nag-prepare sa mga papeles tanan. And it's been an amazing run. Pag nalipay ko sa mga areas na dili ko traditionally strong, like Luzon, we won. We performed well. We won in Luzon, Northern, Central, even Southern Tagalog.
But I guess when you resigned from the Senate, you also sort of established like goodwill, no? Even if, well, of course, the 2013, I think my opinion is there was really cheating there. So I think you would have been able to reap, the rewards of that goodwill in 2013 if it was truly a clean election. But so now, I think it has grown, because people will remember what you've done. I mean, even if it's controversial, how you had to leave. What was that year? What was it?
That was August 3, 2011. I remember that you even talked to me on the phone that day. We had a long conversation.
And had a long post.
And I thank you for that. You've always been supportive.
And a column also.
And I know, thank you, Michael. And for me, what was important, and I told you this when we had the conversation, what was very important for me was my name and my dignity intact. It's just a job. It's not my complete life. I have a family. I can go back into private sector, private life. But what was important for me at the end of the day was when I go to church, when I go to the mall, people will pat my back and say, you did a good thing. I don't want to go to the mall or the church, people looking at you that they want to fry you, So that's what I was trying to avoid because I had little kids. And I said what was important for me was to do the right thing and show that there's still delicadeza left. No matter, that's the sad part about Philippine politics and governance itself. We have administrators of certain government agencies. The roofs are falling down on people's heads. Nothing works, and yet they say, don't worry, things will be better, and they don't resign for their kapalpakan. In my case, I wanted to show that, especially when it comes to legitimacy on a particular Senate seat in this particular case, I'm willing to give it up to show to the people that legitimacy is a very important issue. And it's always very important to show to them that that we're willing to go through another electoral process to redeem yourself.
Yeah, because that is part of the democracy.
Yes,
and I think you were able to, in your own way, strengthen our democratic processes.
Thanks.
Because
wala naman tayong kasalanan ni Mike. It wasn't my fault.
But even so, no, parang correct me if I'm wrong, because that was the 2007 elections that was in question. But even the electoral sabotage case filed against President Arroyo, I don't think it has been dismissed, but that was supposedly non-bailable, which has been granted bail because it was very weak.
Yes.
Diba?
And actually, Chairman Abalos' case for electoral sabotage has been dismissed. He's been acquitted.
I know.
He's been acquitted.
And in fact, I spoke just a few days ago. I had the chance to speak with Judge Mupas, who issued the first warrant of arrest against President Arroyo for electoral sabotage relating to 2007 elections. And he said, I really had, it was non-bailable, but I had to grant bail to her because there was very little, it was very weak. And in fact, I said, I heard that Secretary De Lima, that the basis for that complaint was the say-so of somebody who was a co-accused in the Maguindanao massacre.
Yes.
And how can you naman, you have to take that with a grain of salt.
Yes.
And then what he heard lang is, what this guy heard was that, sabi daw ni PGMA is 12-0, ha? Eh, what do you want her to say? 4 out of 12, 5.
Yes.
Of course, in any...
Actually, even the 2013 elections, Pinoy was telling everybody to vote straight.
Exactly.
It's the same instructions.
It's the same thing. It's like when you say Manny Pacquiao, Manny, make sure to knock him out, diba? Ganun eh, pareho lang yun. And then he said, it's a marching order to cheat. Good God. And then everybody's guilty of electoral sabotage.
I think that is the reason why they had to file another case. Which was
really?
the
PCSO.
PCSO
That's
plunder
true.
case.
Yeah,
but I think, I've mentioned this even in the show of Karen Davila. I've said, ako, I believe no one is above the law. If anyone breaks it, whether it's a president or a janitor, they have to be punished for it if proven guilty.
Correct.
But I'm also a believer of the equal protection of the law. And when I say that is, how come all the co-accused of the president are out on bail?
True.
Are out on bail, and many of them have been acquitted.
True.
And yet she's still incarcerated. She's the only one,
Only one.
incarcerated.
And
so
then she's the farthest pa from the equation.
Yes.
Initial lang.
Initial margin,
and
just a
there's
small
no,
margin.
and there's no proof that she actually received money, no?
Sa totoo lang, Mike, mas grabe pa nga yung DAP.
That's
The
true.
creation of the DAP is even more.
So,
dangerous.
President Aquino, you wait. no, but
I'm sure somebody there will
Migz, I
do
hope
something,
Senator Migz, I hope you champion this whole Smartmatic thing, because you have been a victim yourself, and also Senator Gordon and everyone else who has been a victim, especially in 2013.
Yes.
I hope you make sure that this with Comelec and Smartmatic, this unholy alliance, whatever it is, that we get to the bottom of things and that it is not repeated. Because, like for example, the allegation of Bongbong Marcos, of course, it remains to be proven, no? But it's really fishy when the same guy who has a complaint, no, diba? That he altered the hash codes in 2013, but around the same time after the elections.
It's the same fellow who rebooted the machine in 2013.
The same time. Why would you do it? Why would you commit the same mistake if you have a pending complaint against you?
Alam mo, Mike, for the record, everybody who's watching tonight, in 2013, we were in the war room looking at all the results, no? So it was still coming in, we were looking good, I was number 12 and all that. Around 9 o'clock in the evening, my staff is here, they know. Around 9 o'clock in the evening.
The same time.
Yeah, about 9 o'clock, we all got the news that they had to reboot the system. And we're like, what? How can you reboot? How can you go there and go into the machine or server or whatever it is and reboot it, apparently because the machines were overcounting. There were what was happening was they were counting more than the actual voters of a particular region and province. So obviously there's some glitch somewhere, right? So the same guy, apparently, I found out, went into the server or the secured area, did some manipulation and rebooted the whole system. Now, the same guy did it again this 2016. ako, murag duda na ko ining inanag sistema, no? And I can also recall when I was head of the National Board of Canvassers in 2010 as Majority Floor Leader for the Senate. I represented Senator Enrile in the counting of votes for Pinoy, President Noynoy, and Vice President Binay. At that time, we already saw the discrepancy. The discrepancy was there was a 1 million undervote for the Vice President. And at that time, Mar Rojas lost by 800,000 votes. So let's say if you had a very malicious mind, you could always say that you're taking away votes of a particular candidate in one particular region where they're strong para makahabol yung kalaban. So now, fast forward 2016, what do we see again? We see unbelievably 3 million undervotes for Vice President. Is that possible, ladies and gentlemen? The contest for the President and Vice President were so hotly contested between rival candidates that people had made their decision as early as 4 months ago who they were going to vote for President and Vice President. And so I can't believe on my own that there were 3 million people who did vote for Vice President.
Impossible.
I really can't believe that. So
I agree.
my point there is to lay the issue to rest. I'm happy that Bongbong Marcos is opening. You know, I'm neither for one group or the other. But it's good for Lenny to know if she really won the contest, if there was no cheating involved. Anyway, you'll know once they open all the ballots and then they review it and they see everything's tugma, they all match, then Lenny can say, I'm the duly elected
And there's
winner.
no cloud, no? There's
No cloud of doubt.
Yeah.
But also the same way, if Marcos regains votes, then we can now question that system. And maybe we should not use it
And
anymore.
don't get Smartmatic anymore. But of all people, you have the moral ascendancy to be telling the candidates for Vice President this because you made that sacrifice.
2013, you know, Mike, dili na ko nagawa sa mga media. When we lost in 2013, what chance did I have? We were in the opposition. Pinoy was a very powerful, influential,
Bully.
and vindictive president. Let's face the
Bully.
facts, no? And what would I have said that could have made a difference and they wouldn't have pinned me down for something else? So I just told my family, you know what, it's God's will. Maybe God wants us not to join this. God didn't want me to join this 16th Congress because of whatever issue, which apparently was a good thing because all these baho came out.
Yeah,
of
you
the
will be
16th
associated with that
with
that particular
DAP,
Congress.
with all these accusations of misuse of TDAF and all that. So my point there is
Everything in God's perfect time. Huh?
God's perfect time. But the person that you should invite to your program, and she can give you a bit of clarity, because she herself told me this during one briefing. Because we get Pulse Asia to give us our survey results during let's say survey season
The
for
internal surveys.
was Dr. Dr. Abunda, Doctora
Not related to Boy.
No, I don't think it's related to Boy. Doctora Tabunda, I think Doctora Tabunda.
Ah, the wife of Manny.
Yeah, the
Wife of
Dr.
Manny
Tawa-
Tabunda.
Yeah, Dr.
Diba
Tabunda
yan?
is the one who briefs us on the Pulse Asia surveys.
I think that's the wife of Manny Tabunda.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's
I'm not sure, but maybe, no?
She's a great statistician, and when we asked her about comparing the results now with 2013 elections, she told us one time that Migz and Audrey was there, my wife, and she said, do not compare any of the results with the 2013 elections because it is the most incredulous, according to her,
The
quote
2013.
unquote, quote, incredulous results that she's ever seen. She said, it's unbelievable that in 2010, the number 12 candidate, which was TG Gingon at the time, received about 10 million votes to be number 12.
Okay.
And yet in 2013, the number 12 candidate, which was Grego Nasan, got about 13 million votes.
There were
Now,
other votes talaga.
now, sabi niya, it's a midterm elections. Historically, people do not vote as high in terms of voter turnout
As with the presidential.
as with the presidential. So, there's a lot of question marks. And I hope one day God will be giving us signs and people coming out of the woodwork and actually admitting to whatever happens so that we can have genuine electoral reform for the 2019, especially the 2022
22,
elections.
correct. That's true.
If it is proven that these machines can be manipulated, let's try something else.
Let's talk more about that, Migz, when we return. But we have to pause for the short break. Open mic will be right back. We're back here in Open Mic with Senator Migz Zubiri. So Migz here has been a good friend from, 15 years ago?
Yeah, a long time.
We were
Congress days pa.
Congress.
I was not even in the Senate yet.
Yes, and I remember when I was still in school, my ex and I would even sleep at your house.
Yeah, we invite you over. I was still single then.
You were still a bachelor,
yeah.
no?
Yeah, I was still single.
I know that this is something that's not new to you because you would even tag us along. You were part of a morning show in ABS.
And Team Explorer.
You produced.
We had that travel environment show.
Yes. And of course, my ex and I are original advocacy separately. Maybe that's what brought us together is the environment. So
yes.
So we were.
And I spoke to you in your university because you guys were active sa San Carlos.
Until now.
Yeah, I know.
Until now, we're all feeling students.
You guys are all active in the student council.
Yeah, that's why we
San
don't
Carlos.
age. It's the fountain of youth.
Yes.
Yeah. So. And then I remember you had a very nice den with a lot of really interesting books.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't know, and I always tell people this, when they talk about you, it's a bit of trivia that it has nothing to do with your track record, but it's an interesting trivia, especially for the geeks. You have the original copy of the Daily Wizard.
Ah, yes.
The Daily Wizard from Harry Potter.
Yes.
Because what people don't know is Migz's wife, Audrey Tan Zubiri, is a cousin of the late...
Actually, niece.
Is a niece, cousin once removed.
Once removed, yes.
Of the late Alan Rickman.
Who Professor Snape.
Professor Snape.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's why when he passed away a few months ago, we were devastated.
Yeah.
Because Alan Rickman, we were able to...
You brought him here.
Yes, he went to Manila, he stayed in Amanpulo, and we actually saved their lives. Alan Rickman and his wife, because they were going to go to Phuket the same time when the tsunami hit, when there were thousands of people who died in Thailand.
In Thailand, in Aceh.
Yes, that was the same, that was in New Year's of year 2000 or 1999.
Yeah.
So,
instead of going...
2000, what was that? 2000, I'm not trying, 2004? 2004,
yeah. College, yeah.
2005. So, instead of going to Thailand, we convinced them to go to the Philippines. So, they were so happy, they were so, really... overwhelmed with emotions.
So, all of you Harry Potter fans, you would not have that Harry Potter series with Alan Rickman as Professor Snape if not for the Zubiri couple.
I had a chance. No, but I had a chance. Oh yeah, for the succeeding movie.
Yeah,
because he finished it.
He finished it.
But also a little bit of trivia. When we visited the set in England.
Yes.
So we went around and all, and while going around the sets, we were so amazed. And you know the castle, the Hogwarts castle, and all that, the Great Hall.
Yes.
You think it's so you
Giant,
actually see it. You think it's romanticized as a big castle and all that, but actually it's just a big studio. So it's inside a warehouse.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, but inside is beautiful. It's like what you see in the movies. But outside is just a warehouse.
Ah.
But we were able to tour it, and we went into Professor Dumbledore's office.
Okay.
And it was dark, and the guy said, "Wait, I have to open the lights from the outside. So just stay right here, don't move." It was a private tour.
All right.
Just me, Audrey, and the guide. So when we went out, I saw a copy of the Daily Prophet.
Daily Prophet pala.
Daily Prophet.
Daily Prophet. Yeah, Daily Prophet.
So I saw it, it's like, kuha ako ng ano.
Lucky you.
I think, I know, if they hear this, they probably might charge me for it. But I got it, I put it in my pocket, and I snatched it, and Audrey was so upset. It's like, don't do that, there might be cameras. I said, don't worry, it's too dark.
I'm sure they have other copies.
So I had it framed.
Yeah, I saw that.
Actually, pang ano yan, pwedeng i-auction yan, online auction. And then I had Alan Rickman sign it.
So that makes it official.
Professor Snape.
That makes it very official now.
Yes.
Because they already signed it. So meaning
one of my memorabilia.
They won't charge you because Alan Rickman, one of the cast, signed it.
I
remember seeing that, and I actually took a photo with it.
Yes,
I'm still looking for it because parang
for the Harry Potter geeks.
Yeah, it's a claim to fame. So well, it's unfortunate that he. Did you know that he was sick?
No, he didn't tell anyone he was sick, and he passed away shortly thereafter. He didn't want to go through the whole process of chemotherapy. He just accepted it, and that's how he is as a person. And it was very sad because he's one of the for me, one of the best international Hollywood actors in the world today.
How is she? How is he Audrey's uncle?
A long story. I'll tell you about it.
But my gosh,
It's a long story, but they're related.
but your kids are nephew and niece of
Yes.
of Professor Snape.
The nice thing about it is, before you visited the Philippines, I sent him an email and I go, my family would be delighted if you can get Daniel Radcliffe to sign autograph pictures for
Okay.
them. And he said, sure, no problem. He asked me for the names. No? So I gave all my sister's names and all that. And so he told me this when he came home. I got, he calls him Danny, Daniel.
Yeah.
I got Danny in one corner, sat him down, and he literally sat him down, gave him the photos. You sign this to all my nephews and nieces. And he sat there. Daniel
my
Radcliffe
God.
was signing all these autographs.
How magical.
And, magical. So we when he brought it back, the funny thing was, I forgot to get one for Audrey. So until now, she's pissed off.
She's the niece, bro.
We took it for granted. I said, well, maybe you might meet Daniel Radcliffe one day.
But you know, I really remember my ex and I when we stayed there like a few times, no, like several trips, and then I think that framed copy of the Daily Prophet and that samurai.
Ah, yes. I also collect samurai swords and
then
armor.
The armor.
Yes, I still do.
And then I was telling well, let's not mention. I'm gonna say. I was telling him, I go, "Naku, baka that's haunted," because sometimes, diba, parang
He protects me.
Oh, really?
He gets rid of all the evil spirits.
because it's
I have a new one, and I heard your staff are going to request for photos and all. So
Yeah.
I'll show you the new stuff that I have, the new samurai.
What else is it? Because are you still staying in the same house in
No,
Sambales?
I moved.
What else is interesting in your collection?
Well, I have all the Lord of the Rings swords, so I'm a kind of a movie geek like
Geek.
that. I have all the Lord of the Rings swords. I also have really old swords that are 400, 500 years old.
Do you have the ring?
No, I don't have the ring.
Do you watch Big Bang Theory when they were like making agaw? You know,
The ring?
One of the original rings they got hold of, and
Yes.
they were all fighting over it.
You know, it's a big industry now. All these figurines, all these movie collectibles. Alan Cayetano, as brother, Ren ba, or the director, they actually own these big shops that sell movie figurines, whether it's from Marvel Comics,
Yeah.
DC, or DC Comics, and all these mga movie memorabilia. So it's really interesting.
I'm like that, but mine is, for example, I love Indiana Jones.
Yes.
So I had a bullwhip custom made.
Bah, bullwhip
Brown, not leather, not black leather, not black leather for you know what. But talagang
Open mic talaga. Parang nagkikwentuhan tayo. We forget we're being recorded. But yeah, so yeah, it's pretty.
What's
cool.
your favorite movies? What are your favorite movie series or genre?
All the Marvel movies I love. The
Watch the
X-Men movies.
last X-Men?
The last one was really good. I enjoyed it. I did, believe it or not, a lot of people told me that they enjoyed the Captain America, the last
War,
Captain
yeah.
America Civil War, but I enjoyed this X-Men movie better. It was more out of like.
I think it was the best for me.
For me, it was the best. It was like over the top, man.
It was
Just
my
over the
favorite
top.
of all the X-Men
Yeah,
movies.
over the top
yeah.
in terms of destruction and
Yeah.
so of course action series, Bourne series.
Oh, and there's a new one coming up.
The Bond movies, James Bond movies. Oh, there's a Conjuring too. I also like
It's good.
scary
Scary?
movies. I don't know why I do this to myself. I watch a scary movie and I cannot sleep. I cannot sleep. So
I think it's showing tomorrow.
It's showing tomorrow. We're gonna watch it over the weekend. It's required viewing for all my business partners. Oh, they don't like
Conjuring?
it.
Why?
But I always tell them, you won't get your dividends if you don't get your business dividends if you don't watch Conjuring or scary movies. So
I like scary movies, but I don't scare.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. There's something wrong with me. I walk outside at night at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the dark. You
Yes.
know, I'm weird that way.
No, I got, there was one movie that, I'm a movie fan, and one of the movies that really got me was the one of, it's called The Right.
Oh yeah, that's Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, and
oh my gosh.
Colin O'Donoghue.
Yeah, oh my god.
Very
what a
guapo.
movie.
Very guapo. The young priest.
Yeah, well, but that really got me. I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. I told my wife, I don't know why I torture myself. Of course, she doesn't want to watch it, but I really enjoy. I actually enjoy the moment when all of my friends are shouting on the seats.
But it's supposedly based on a true story. The Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It is based on a true story on a priest he's an exorcism priest. So it's quite scary. That's exactly why it scared me because it was all true. We have monster movies coming.
We just watched that again. My friend John Lord here. We watched that. We were in Manila. The Right, and then ako naman pangpatulog. Pangpatulog ka.
Natakot ako.
But Linda Blair is really.
Ayaw, the original. Originals, yeah. Those are originals. That started it all.
Yes.
That started it all. The suka scene.
Yeah.
That's the start.
And the one that they cut, yung walking na pabaliktad
Yeah,
down the staircase.
down the
Oh my
staircase.
gosh.
That's really
you watch-
scary.
Did you watch Annabelle?
Yes. Annabelle, the doll, for me, wasn't as scary as
Conjuring?
or was another movie before that was actually
Insidious.
scary. Insidious.
The horror movies. Because that is the
It's horror movie season. They're going towards Halloween.
Yeah.
So
And it was the state of Philippine politics.
at least these guys know the lighter side of Migz. Zubiri. I'm a normal guy. People should know this. That I think they should know that I'm actually quite a normal person. And I've said this in my Facebook when I won. I'm just a normal guy who wants to see a better country, better Philippines for our kids and for our kids' kids, and for the future of our next generation. But when it comes to being normal, I'm normal as can be. I don't like going around with a lot of people. I go around on my own. I watch movies.
And I've bumped into you and Audrey. Audrey is Migz's wife several times at the movies.
Yes, in the mall,
Yeah,
Rockwell.
yeah, going
it's a very relaxing time for
Always
me.
dating.
Yeah, we're always dating.
You have beautiful children. You're
Thank
a family
you,
man.
thank you. My family means everything to me. And you know what? When I resigned in 2011, that was the best 5 years of my life. This was the best 5 years of my life. If I look and recall what I've done in the last 47 years, this 5 years was the best.
Because you
I
were
was-
able to spend time.
Spend time. It was an emotional roller coaster for me. Emotional roller coaster. I was hit left and right for all these supposed electoral fraud issues that I had it wasn't even my fault. But I was bugbog na bugbog every day because I had a friend who came out in TV always attacking me. We actually gave up the seat for.
But you're okay now?
No, we're okay. We're friends now. But the thing there was, it was an emotional roller coaster ride for me. And when I resigned from majority floor leader, from king of the hill, top of the heap, to nothing. And
It was a defining moment.
it was, thank you. But it was also a time for me to reflect on my life. Because imagine, since I was 28 years old, I was in politics. 28 years old, I won as congressman, all the way till 2007 when I ran for senator, I won for senator. These guys are my classmates. Si Alan Cayetano, si Jesus Cordero, President Noynoy Aquino. We have the same political career path. We were both congressmen in 98. We came in the same time. We became senator in
Same
2007.
career path, but you had more. You had output.
Okay.
You had output in Congress and the Senate. I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry.
Thank you for.
It's a matter of fact.
Thank you for that. But my point was basically it was an eye opener for me when I resigned and then I lost. It was a humbling experience, but God taught me that wonderful lesson. It was a wonderful lesson of humility. It grounded me. You know what? I used to complain.
accountability
I used to complain about maybe little things because when you're in government, it gets to your head. It really does, Mike. It can get to you.
But it never showed sa'yo. I can attest.
Because I tried to be as grounded as possible. But in my own little way, there were little things already that were that I could see changed me. And when I got out of public service, I started a business. I had to go to a bank to borrow a loan. I applied like everybody else, filled up the form, went to see the branch manager. They get shocked. Migz, what are you doing? We'll call the branch manager. I did it all from ground up, and I was able to set up a business. I'm in the ice business now.
And solar.
ZIs, I'm solar. I have a bit of a power business in Bukidnon because Mindanao had a problem with the power crisis. So I tried to help out with that situation. I couldn't have done it when I was in government service. So this 5 years was the best for me and my family. That's why I thank God for the
Blessing in disguise, no?
Really blessing in disguise.
Let's talk more about the last 5 years and the next 5 years.
All right.
When Open Mic returns. Back here on Open Mic with Senator Migz Zubiri. So before the break, we were talking about how you've gained so much insight the last 5 years. So it's really a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
But what you had to go through, like I said, no, it defines character. Where in the world can you see someone relinquishing his post, no? Just because there was a cloud of doubt, surrounding it. We always say, buti pa sa ibang bansa, like the Japanese, they resign, for honor. Well, we have it here.
Thank you.
Some people overlook that, but that's why I made noise about it, because whatever the facts, whatever the situation was, you gave up your post, no?
Yeah.
But one would think that that fate would reward you in 2013, but fate did not, no?
Yes.
But God works in mysterious ways. Yes. So he gave you more time to devote to your family and to your business, to to gain insight and probably appreciate
and grow as a person.
Yeah, and appreciate why you had to go through relinquishing your post and losing.
But after 2013, Mike, I wasn't going to run anymore.
Yes.
I made a vow to myself that maybe people, not to run again, because maybe people wanted controversial figures, medyo tao na pabongga, nagwa-wild lang, nakikipag-away, or whatever.
What changed your mind?
I prayed hard. I really prayed hard. I believe in signs, and I prayed hard for some signs. And I prayed hard that before I file in October, this is around July, for God to give me a sign. And the sign was, if I would still be in the surveys, I would be in the top 8 of the surveys prior to the filing. Because I can't sustain. If I was 10, 11, I don't have the funds for
you
commercials.
You would have to have more money.
You'd have to have more money. So, October came, September came, and SWS came out with the survey. I was number 8. And that was my sign, give me number 8. But alanganin, kasi baka naman,
it's on
9, it's on the cusp, right? It's right there. So, when Pulse Asia came, it was number 7. Then I had a briefing with Dr. Tamunda, and she told me that it's a better chance for us to make it now. I was in the surveys for the last 1 year, always consistently in the top 7. But that still didn't convince me. Believe it or not, Mike, what convinced me was watching General Luna. I was shocked. I could hear it over social media. It's a great movie. So I said, you know what? Let's watch it. So I brought Audrey there. We watched it. And I got the shock of my life. Here's the guy, in your face scenes, telling you how difficult it is to run the country, how difficult it is to get out of this rut.
Bayan o sarili.
What really opened my eyes when he said to the cabinet, ano ba? Negosyo o kalayaan? Bayan o sarili? And he was shouting it to me. Because I was saying, hindi na ako politiko, I'll just go into business. And so, here was a golden opportunity to make a difference again.
He tipped the scales.
Yeah, no, I really was. After that, I was so nationalistic, and I said, you know what? If I have a chance to do it, and God gave me a chance to do it all over again, why not? Instead of giving it to a guy who's going to misuse the position, you
had the signs, and that really just sealed the deal.
That movie, General Luna, that's why when I filed my candidacy, that was my speech, and I used that same line also when I was introduced to the public when we started with the GP with the Grace Po team in early of November, I think, when we launched the campaign.
Yeah.
Because at that time, wala pa si Digong. Digong wasn't
December
decided
pa
yet.
siya.
He decided on December. But
that movie, General Luna, I think the impact on you was that, but it also had an impact on our national consciousness.
Yes.
And our eventual choice for 2016.
Absolutely.
No, and that beyond social graces, we look at track record and heart, no?
Yes.
And that's why we voted for Digong.
Yes.
So,
and then with
speaking of Digong,
this is a proud moment for kitang mga bisdak. It is a moment that garbo nato na ang atong presidente usa ka Bisaya, and he has his roots here in Cebu, Cebu province, being a Durano, and we're very proud. This is historical for all of us, and now we have a genuine chance for constitutional reform.
True, federalism.
That we've been pushing for. I know the Visayas of Mindanao, dugay na nato gipangandoy ang federal movement, the federal system. I remember from Lito Osmeña,
Sir
from the
Bobit.
Crombie days.
Sir Bobit.
Sir Bobit
Bobit
is
Avila.
is a big
Proponent,
proponent
yeah.
of federalism. And I truly believe that we need a systems change. The change that the system that we have now is what the people rejected. They voted 16.6 million votes for Digong because they wanted radical change.
And more pa, ha? I believe there's more.
Maybe there was more. Maybe it
20
was
million,
shaved off.
yeah.
I believe overwhelming.
Yeah, more than 20.
And he has gotten a bigger
Margin.
mandate than Pinoy. Pinoy, I think 14 million, 14 plus million.
And the biggest margin over the rival.
Yes.
More than Erap.
I truly believe now is the time for that.
But Migz, you play, in relation to Henry Luna, Digong being probably a personification of Henry Luna, he will be in danger because because of the change that he's championing.
Yes.
So he will need people like you,
Yes.
to
My
to support.
1,000% support. I've said it many times. Although I ran as independent, my father went all out for him. That's why Bukidnon, he got 400,000 votes. His nearest rival got 80,000 votes. I mean, we gave him an overwhelming margin there.
It's in relation to Mindanao. No, you said Bukidnon, of course, President Duterte is from Davao. I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that some of the embassies have set up shop.
Davao?
Yeah, they're scouting for properties to rent in Davao. So really, the balance of power is shifting.
It's nice because all of a sudden the whole universe revolves around
Mindanao.
And we've always been dreaming of that because we've always been forgotten in many of the policy statements, in many of the programs and projects. So we're very happy.
I don't see how this cannot translate to actual change in Mindanao. And whatever is good for Mindanao is good for the country.
For the country.
Yeah.
Mindanao is, I would say, probably the second largest food basket of the Philippines, next to certain areas of northern Luzon and central Luzon. But we provide most of the minerals, some mining.
True.
We provide most of the bananas, the pineapples,
But
fruits.
it could be larger.
It could be larger.
Just because of the peace and order.
Peace and order
diba?
problem. I mean, during the campaign, I would fly to and fro with a small plane all around Mindanao. There's so much vast lands that are underutilized or not utilized at all. I mean, if you're talking about possible irrigated areas, you're looking at Liguasan Marsh, Dagusan Marsh. We fly over it. Grasslands with huge river systems. It just floods. You get an engineer, a good agricultural engineer, they can make that into super productive areas. All we need to do is political will.
And we are able to prepare ourselves from the regular El Nino.
Yes. So it's
food
possible.
security,
Food security
is assured.
But the nice thing about federalism, in fairness to President Digong, if he was a dictator, he would have had it all in this presidential system. If he really wanted to be in control,
correct,
he will just say, okay, I'll just stay what it is now, presidential system. He can be like Pinoy and do anything he wants regardless of what people say. But no, he wants to share the leadership, the planning and the
it's as democratic
development
as it can get
to the different regional federal states.
That's why when people say, oh, he has autocratic dictatorial tendencies, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
His number one policy statement is federalism.
It's devolution.
Devolution of power.
It's devolution.
Yeah.
So I salute him for that, and I think this is the best time.
But Migz, you are a senator, kami, we're ordinary citizens, and we look up to the president, and we're so excited to support him. But ikaw, what do you think is your role as senator, as Migz Zubiri, as a Mindanao, as someone from Mindanao, in the next 3 years, 6 years?
Well, it's going to be crucial in the Senate right now to be able to push for his legislative agenda. I mean, how do we proceed towards federalism? We'll need to do some things legally through the process. For example, we may have to pass a law creating the Constitutional Convention, if that's what he wants. Because
or
apparently
Constitutional
he wants
Constituent Assembly. There's two, no?
What I heard from President Digong is he would rather prefer a con-con. A con-con, which is better because then we can do our job as legislators, and the con-con delegates can do their job to amend the Constitution for what's best for the Constitution. So we still need a special law to create that. And then once we all agree to the proposals, we will now have to create a special law for its plebiscite. Maybe together with 2019 elections, we can NSYNC the elections for
To ano, the
or
cause,
plebiscite
yeah.
for the federal movement. And I think that's where I come into to play as one of his leaders in the Senate, and of course helping with the national budget. There's a lot of work to be done in the Senate, and of course what's important there is to assist his cabinet members in their commission appointments duties, because you have a whole new cabinet now, and they're going to go through the commission appointments. So the president needs allies there to help him push for his key leaders.
Do you have any ideas who will sit in the commission on appointments?
Well, that's usually 12, so that's about, there's a 50-50 chance that I can get in. There's a 50-50 chance. But what's important there is we assist his legislative agenda in the Senate in the 17th Congress.
So, well, at least we have you, not only an ally, but a long-time proponent of federalism. Because even years ago, you were already talking about federalism.
Bukidnon has always been the seat of the federal movement of Mindanao. We always, Digong has been, President Digong, President Digong.
He's okay with that.
See, Boss Digong is very, he's very low-key and very humble person. But President Digong would visit us. I think he visited us 3 times to discuss federalism. We'd host it. Bukidnon kasi is central to Mindanao. So guys from Zamboanga, Davao, Cagayan de Oro, they'll all go to Bukidnon in Malay-Balay.
It's relatively safer, no?
And much safer. And the cool climate adds to the very
I've
nice
never been.
discussion.
You should bring us.
You should come. Kasi we're elevated. So parang Tagaytay
Baguio,
weather, it's like Bagay. It's like your area
Taps.
here.
Mga
Busay area. So, because of the cool weather, dili kayang init ang mga diskusyon ba? Medyo kalmado ni mga leaders. And then that's where we discuss about federalism. So, we're very happy that it's finally pushing through. And let's give it a chance. People are afraid of change, but this particular change is I would say going towards the right direction.
Correct.
And we've tried this system for the last 30 years. How long has this been, this 86 Constitution? 30 years. It's been 30 years. And what has it gotten us? Nothing.
Oligarchic control.
Oligarchy control. Only a few people control the country. It's about time we try it, similar to Malaysia, similar to Germany, similar to other countries that are federal presidential setup. And let's give it a chance.
Yeah, and kasi the parliamentary federal form, or well, specifically federal, I think, in my humble opinion, is more attuned to our culture.
Yes.
Kasi parang we are diverse yet we are one.
Yes.
And that is the essence of federalism. No?
Yes.
It honors diversity but brings the diversity together.
And I'll tell you what, Mike, even if it means sacrificing my position as senator, I'm willing to take that risk.
And
Because
I believe you.
Yeah, because people are saying, "Oh, you guys might get abolished," because there's a redundancy. You cannot have a federal assembly and a national assembly and then a senate.
Correct.
That's 3 layers. So what might happen is you might have a federal assembly and then you might have a national assembly.
But you can transition.
Yeah, there will be a transition naman. But I'm willing to lose my seat in favor of genuine change.
And I believe you because you did it once. I'm sure you can do it again.
For genuine change, we have to sacrifice.
I'm sorry, but our time is up.
I know.
Always beaten, but we will have tonight. We still have. I'm lucky because I will have dinner with Migz and the other supporters here in Cebu later.
Yes.
Thank you, Migz.
Always a pleasure.
Your victory, the victory of Migz Zubiri, is proof that good guys can win.
Thank God.
Inspiring.
Thank God.
Thank you, Migz.
Can I also thank of
course,
mga igsoon din sa Visayas ug Mindanao na paminaw sa imong programa. First of all, sa Sugbo, daghan kay salamat. I came in top 5 in Cebu City and Cebu Province. In all the Cebuano speaking areas nata sa top 5. Daghan salamat sa inyong tabang na kanunay gihatag ninyo kanako. It's been consistent in the last 3 elections.
True.
So I owe you a lot. We have to do more projects and programs for the province of Cebu and the city of Cebu. Magtinabangay ta. I will help you. Allow me to be your voice in the Senate. There's only a few of us na mga bisdak na dito karon, and we are very proud to represent our Visayan brothers and sisters, Visayan and Mindanao brothers and sisters. So, daghan kay salamat. Mabuhay kitang tanan mga bisdak. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. That was Senator Migz Zubiri. I'm Mike Lopez. Good night and Godspeed.